This is Ultimate Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Toy Story TS01 Control Center pop-up. It's a background, I believe it's a KO of another background called the Extreme Sets. But this is what we're taking a look at. It comes inside this box that just looks like a regular box, except for that it has the Toy Story Control Center written on it. So there you go. So let's move that. Basically, it is a background with some pop-ups of the Transformers. It looks like the Transformers base, Teletran 1. And let's just take a quick look. It comes with 13 pieces, and we'll take a look at them. There's this part here that I believe is a seat of some sort. This didn't come with any instructions, which to me is kind of, I wish it would have come with some instructions, but it didn't come with any, so you kind of have to figure out what each piece is and how to put it together. So I'm going to do that. Before, let's just take a look. So that's one of the parts. Here's another part that looks like some computer screens or something like that. Looks pretty cool. There is another one that looks like a computer, possibly could be Teletran 1. It's more of a pop-out piece, so I'm assuming it's going to plug into one of the other pieces. Then you get this piece, which is a wall piece. It's definitely a computer type, so it looks interesting. You got the words launch and system down here. Actually, let's turn it over. There it goes. That looks like that should be the correct way. It's pretty big. This thing is actually looking like it's going to be pretty huge. Like even when I unfold this, it's gigantic. So it's got this piece which looks like a giant computer screen with a few words on it, launch system and all that. Then we have another computer screen, which would form another wall. This one has aerial view written on it. It's got a little picture. It looks like they're looking at something. They spotted something, tracking maybe. Then there's another wall piece, and this one also has a computer screen, but also has some rock kind of hanging down, so I guess it's supposed to be in a cave or some sort. And so you see the pieces of wall hanging down, and a couple of computer screens. Then you have another wall piece, and this one looks like it's a view of space or some sort, but it's got like a rock coming down too. So then it's like, is it space? Is it underwater? I don't know. It looks like it looked at first like it's a window, but that's looking in outer space. But then you've got rock here, kind of hanging down. So it looks a little unusual, but I mean, it looks nice, but there you go. A little confusing. So you got that. Then you have another one of those windows, just like the previous one. Then you have another wall piece, and this one's kind of interesting because it's definitely like a door that people can walk through, but it also has a cutout, so you can actually open this part if you had it pieced together, and it forms a doorway here where you could have somebody walking through. So there you go. And then you have pretty much the same wall piece, another door, but this one doesn't have the cutout, so it won't open like the other one did. Unless, I guess you could just cut it yourself, but it's not designed to open like the other one did. Then you have floor pieces, and here you go. They look basically like this. Just look like little base plates. You put them down on the floor, and there you go. And you got one, let's So, like I said, this thing doesn't come with instructions, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out a way to put this thing together. Okay, so let's start with this piece here first. Just folding these pieces up and connecting them. Now, folding them up seems to be pretty easy. It's just, you've got a few little tabs here, a few little flaps. So let's just close these up, fold them together. Of course, they like in pretty good. And let's do that again. Let's fold it up. Lock it in here. And there you have this little like seating, it looks like. So that looks nice. Then let's just check out this little wall unit. Looks like you just fold it this way. Fold it forward. Fold this part down. And it forms this little computer screen. It actually has a number on it. I hadn't noticed. It says like 09, it looks like. So I'm assuming that's going to be the bottom. But it does have this little computer screen that you fold up, and I'm assuming that these little attachments just press into another part of the wall. There. And then there's this piece that actually says 08 here. So that should be the bottom, I'm assuming, since it has the numbers. And like with the other piece, you just kind of fold it up. Get these parts ready to attach to a wall, and then I'm assuming they just plug right into the wall piece. I think the other pieces might be a little too big to show. Let's see. Like this piece is pretty gigantic. And I mean, that's one thing about it, is this set is pretty huge. To show it, I'm probably going to have to move this project somewhere else, because normally the room that I do my reviews in, I've got a lot of my Transformers collection in, so there's not a whole lot of space. And this thing looks like it's going to require a lot of space. So one of the things I've noticed is that this large one, partially I noticed it's got these little flaps here, so you kind of fold this in on itself. See, hopefully you can see that pretty clear. But you fold it, and then these little tabs here on the side will go into those little holes there. So let's try and squeeze those in there. Try to get as much of this on camera as I can with this thing being so large, but I don't know. Okay, so I finally got this piece put together. Just got those little connections going there, and it was easier than it looked getting it together. So not bad. So this looks like this is probably like the main computer or something, and so it looks nice. So let's take a look at this next piece. This is the one where two of the pop-outs go, and it's not as hard as it looks, because it has these little pieces right here to kind of show you, and they look exactly like the pop-outs, so you know exactly where the pop-outs go. So I'm going to go ahead and get those on. And they're easy to insert. You see they have the little ridges right here, so it's pretty simple actually. So put this in here. You've got one pop-up in. Looks pretty nice. And this one, you just want to pretty much do the same. Just put them right there in the little sockets. And there you go. You've got the two pop-ups in, and starting to look pretty good together. Like I said, this thing's pretty massive, so we'll have to see how I can show this when I get into the full mode. But there you go with part of one of the walls. Okay, and one more thing I did notice is that these do have numbers. I may have mentioned this earlier, but they do have numbers. So this is part 6, and this one here says part 5. They're on the tabs, and I saw there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 and all that. And so I'm going to assume that they attach like that. And so you got this edge here, and then this one has these little grooves here. So I believe they just attach just like that. I can try to show you a little bit, but they kind of fit in there, fit into those grooves. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. With these being so big, it's really hard to show, but I'm going to see if I can put these pieces together, just piece those numbers together, and I'll see what we come out with. Okay, so I'm back, and as I figured, there was just no way for me to show the size of this thing without moving it out of my usual review spot. But here it is, all put together. One of the things, like I said, it didn't come with instructions, but that's probably good because you can assemble it any way that you really want to, which I think is actually good. So right now I have all 13 pieces put together. I've got the computer here, I've got Optimus Prime looking at it, and you can see the sheer size of this thing because this is MP10 Optimus Prime, which is pretty large, and he's got plenty of room inside of here. I even have a Combiner Wars figure combined, and he's still in there with no problem whatsoever. We've got side swipe here, MP, he's coming through the door that's open, and I have one of the pieces in the back to look like a background, maybe like another room. We've got some third-party figures here, and you know, they're a pretty nice size, and I mean, everything just looks really good. You can put a lot of figures here. Got folks sitting down, you got them at the window looking. I mean, it's a great display piece. One of the things about it is the parts are easy to remove. So if you don't want to use all 13 pieces, like you just don't have the space to use all 13 pieces, you can separate them and build them as you like. You could use just 4 pieces or use 2 pieces, especially if you're just taking like pictures or something like that. You could really do some things here, which I think is great. And of course, if you're just using it for a diorama, taking pictures, I mean, you could use one piece or whatever you need just to get the right picture and get the right effect on these guys. Just to give you a bit of the size of this thing, let's take out another one of these figures. Here is my oversized Combiner War Superior, and you see that he still fits in there pretty good. I mean, you can see that he just barely reaches the top of this thing. So that just gives you a sense of the size of this guy. Let's put him over here next to MP10. I mean, so these are some huge figures, and it's totally massive. So yeah, even with the size. And so there are some other things that you can do. You can use it with other figures from different little sets, and it still looks nice. I mean, I have it here with some Ghostbusters. Maybe they're Ghostbusters in space, or they have a nice little, new base. They moved out of their fire station. Whatever, you have that. I've got a Black Panther over here. I mean, you can use it with Marvel figures, anything you want, and I mean, it still comes out great. Even if I move Teletran, let's move him out of the way. Watch this guy back here. I mean, still looks good. It looks like he could be in some kind of base, a superhero base or whatever. So you could use this with your other figures as well if you have more than just Transformers. So I think that it is a great set. Definitely gives you that look of the Autobot base. It's definitely big enough to fit multiple figures of all different sizes. And like I said, I think it looks great. The cardboard is pretty sturdy, so it stands well, and the pieces are easy enough to attach and detach that you can really make whatever kind of base that you want. It doesn't have to come in a certain set pattern. So I like it. I ordered this from Sarazan online. It's a great display piece. That's it for this review. So if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, share it, and all that. And I'll definitely be doing some more reviews. So until then, I will catch you later.